This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by the British and Commonwealth welterweight champion Ekow Essuman over Zoom for the first time this year. Ekow, first, Happy New Year. Hope you had a good one and a good Christmas. Did you get up to much?
Cheers. Happy New Year to you too. Um, it's been I've been busy since my last match. My the coordinator of everything family wise, my fiance, we had to upgrade her position and finalize everything. So we got married and went away on our honeymoon and then came back for Christmas and that. So I had some good off time, but even so, my honeymoon was in Mexico and I was training out there, and you know how it is. Like you think you'll take a little break away from boxing. Next thing you know, I was in boxing gyms out there and running on the beach and doing circuits. So it's just life of a boxer.
I hope you wasn't doing any sparring, mate, because on your honeymoon, if you came back with any bruised eyes or anything, I don't think that would have gone down well.
Nah, it was just the training, but it was good out there anyway.
Well, listen, obviously, congratulations on getting married, and I hope you did enjoy your honeymoon. A successful 2021 for yourself, Ekow, picking up those British and Commonwealth titles. I know something you've wanted for a while. How would you reflect on it now? Now we're in a new year, and you can set yourself new goals.
Well, the goals were set even before those titles got into my hands. But I was just gonna say before that, I like said maybe a year or a year and a half before getting the titles, I was setting about them, and there were certain fights I wanted to get made, or I wanted personally, but I knew deep down inside the the people or the belt holders at that time wouldn't necessarily just take the fight. So I had to get myself in that mandatory position to where they had to fight me. And so I did. And same goes on for my plans moving on. Obviously, I'm British, Commonwealth, IBF European champion. Um, I'm planning on moving up the rankings. So now it's all about the fights that get me up the rankings. I think I'm ranked number 13 with the IBF. And in terms of that belt line, it's all about getting up the rankings and forcing these fights where people can't avoid me because I'm the mandatory or I'm the set person who needs to be beat, for them to continue being in the position they're in. So it's all about that, moving up the rankings and take over the world.
I mean, that leads very nicely into my next question. What is the plan that's been put in front of you for this year? Obviously, you've just mentioned the rankings, but have you got certain names that you've looked at which you think can help you along in that sense?
No, I don't really look at names per se. Like maybe when I was a bit more naive to the game, I'd say, I just want this guy to fight because he's a good name and that, but it don't really work that way. I mean, even in the amateurs and through the pros, what I've learned is don't look at the names. If you want to get to the top, you've got to beat good people to get there. You can't be looking at, I want this name because he's the easier fight and this, that, and the other. It's literally, look, I'll fight whoever I need to fight. Get me up the rankings. That's where I want to be. I want to get there. I want to be, and I want to be proven. I don't want people to say, he's been fighting a bit of soft touch of a few people. So it is what it is. People can take it how they want to take it, but yeah, moving forward, you're gonna see me in really good competitive fights against opponents with like twice as many or three times as many fights as me, and few losses, like if losses at all.
Ekow, just with kind of the British and Commonwealth titles, would you like to win them out? Well, would you like to win a British title rather outright?
Yeah, I'd love to. I've got two more fights to win the British outright. All challenges come as you may. It's you're just gonna be another victim of my success. And having said that, I do respect a lot of British fighters out there. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but I'm saying it's gonna get done. Um, and that should help me get my ranking up as well. But aside from that, it's just about getting my ranking up and in the belt lines. So say if I had a really good opportunity come in for, say, a different kind of belt line, getting me up the ranks, then I'd take it, because ultimately I just want to get to the top. But yes, I would like to win the British outright.
Ekow, I know you've spoken previously about some of the other top guys in the division domestically, and I'm sure the hope was when you picked up those British and Commonwealth titles, it would make for more of an appealing option for them. The name specifically being obviously Conor Benn, Michael McKinson, who now has a fight with Virgil
Yeah.
Ortiz. Do you have any hope that in Conor's case, because he doesn't have a fight yet, he might be more interested?
Yeah, I mean, it might line up. I'd never say never. I mean, there have been some co-promotion fights between Warren and Eddie Hearn, and I know Frank himself has said he's like said he'd be happy for me to play away and defend my titles to the likes of Conor Benn, when asked, in regards to David Avanesian fighting him and me fighting him. He's happy with that. So I mean, never say never, but as far as I'm concerned, offers have gone out there for my British title defenses, and nothing's materialized of it for whatever reason. But they're looking for the fights they're looking for. And in terms of me and Conor, maybe not for the British, but I mean, he's quite high up in the IBF, I believe. So I'll just have to force that fight that way.
So I mean, just to pick up on you guys have made offers for yourself to face Conor, but you haven't had any kind of anything come back to you.
Well, I know that my name, like, the fight's been talked about. I don't know how briefly or whatnot, but I know it's been offered, because you just get told, oh well, we wanted you to defend this title and that title. We asked a few people, didn't get any replies. It is what it is. That's boxing.
I mean, the other man you mentioned in all of that was David Avanesian. He's recently signed his deal with Frank towards the back end of last year. Some people are thinking, because the David and Conor Benn doesn't seem to be happening either, that you two could end up coming together and facing each other on a Warren show, on a Queensberry show. Do you think that's a likely outcome, or do you think you guys could meet further down the line?
I think it would be further down the line, because I know David's probably looking for, well, he is looking for that world title match. So to me, for him to be looking for that match and then come down to fight at British level, I don't know. I don't know. Like, honestly, because if he's on the verge of that world title shot, I don't get why he'd want to give that up. So I just have to get myself higher to where it's more of a, well, they're both on the same level before we can start talking about that fight. That's how I think of it personally. But I mean, granted, that given the opportunity, just take what you can.
So I mean, from like listening to you, Ekow, has it surprised you that maybe picking up the titles haven't made things as easier as what you'd have liked to have been to make those big fights?
Uh, I think it's not per se picking up the titles, but maybe in the fashion that I did. Breaking Jenkins' rib, breaking Danny Ball's jaw. I'm in good form, and maybe people are trying to, from it turned from people openly saying they'd like to fight me to just not even mentioning me. But like I've always said, get myself in that position to make these fights happen, and then they'll happen.
So Ekow, do you feel like you've been a bit of a victim of your own success?
Uh, Not really. I mean, all it means is, um, forget about the people who might be avoiding me for whatever reason. Whoever I fight is going to be a worthy opponent, who's going to be game, who's going to come wanting to win, who's going to be of a good stature. So for me, I'm happy with that, because, as I said, I don't want a soft touch. I want to, when I get to the top, I want it to be because I'm proven. Like, I've done all the hard work to be called the boss, so I will be the boss.
Ekow, just to get your thoughts on a couple of those guys, as we've mentioned, just with Conor, Eddie Hearn, that is, has mentioned potential fights with Adrian Broner, Robert Guerrero, or Maurice Hooker. If Conor faced any of those guys, what are your thoughts?
I'm not too sure the last time I heard of Guerrero getting out. I probably just need to do bit of
He
reading on
picked
it.
the Ortiz last year
Yeah. Okay.
on points.
Okay. On points. Okay, wicked. I'd probably just have to look at that. That would be a good fight, to be fair. Yeah, that would probably be a good fight out of those three. Yeah.
And the other one being Michael McKinson. Obviously, he has a massive fight coming up with Virgil Ortiz in March. Again, your thoughts on that?
That's a wicked fight. I messaged him when I seen that fight get announced. Like, respect. Like, that's a really good opponent and a really great opportunity. And I mean, for him to take an opportunity like that against an opponent who's, say, just wrecking everyone and whatnot, that's good stuff.
And of course, just moving away from those guys, a couple of fights which are also still coming up. Just Amir Khan and Khan-Brook. I'm sure you'll be intrigued and interested by that one. What's your take?
Yeah. I know people say speed kills and all that, but personally, having sparred Khan-Brook, I'll probably do a bit of sparring for him in this camp for his fight with Khan. I think my money's with Brook.
People have spoken about the weight for this fight. It's obviously a 149, so just a couple pounds extra on top of 147. You've said you've sparred Cal previously, not in camp yet, but on other occasions.
Yeah.
How do you think Cal will manage that weight? Because it's always been a question mark over him ballooning up between fights and trying to drop back down.
I wouldn't say ballooning as such. He's heavy set. He's a big guy. Like, nothing to it. He's a big guy. So getting down to the weight, it's just the weight is always a funny thing with boxers. But if you do it the right way, you'll get down and you'll feel great for it. So it's just how he chooses to get down, really.
You're probably right in ballooning wasn't the right word to use there.
Oh no, but I know what you mean. Like your weight goes,
Yeah.
you go up in weight quite a bit. Yeah.
Just one final one to get your thoughts on is Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams. Again, your take.
Oh, that fight, yeah, that's what I've been thinking about, like living rent free in my head. Like, yo, who's gonna get in that match? I think it's a really good match because that Liam he's on job, but I feel like Eubank is on job as well. Like if he's serious about the match and like sticks to his guns, uses his attributes, I think he could win it. I don't see why not.
Right, Ekow, I appreciate your time there, and I'll leave you now to enjoy the rest of your day. It's been good to catch up and enjoy your weekend. Thank you for speaking to me in Boxing Social.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.